All right, everybody, this is Unc S, Mr. S. Anthony Thomas. I want to talk to you about something. I'm going to prove to you that a $20 bill and a nightclub bouncer can be exactly the same thing. They're exactly the same thing in certain ways. And I'm going to prove it right now. Let me tell you a little quick story. Actually, two quick stories so you'll understand what I'm talking about. We're going to start off with the nightclub bouncer because I did stand up comedy for a long period of time and I worked at a lot of nightclubs. And that's the first line of defense. That's the best line of defense. And I know some nightclubs, some people that own nightclubs that I knew that didn't want to pay the bouncers. Man, that bouncer costs too much. I ain't paying. How much is he charge? Man, I'm not paying that. And if I do pay bouncers, I know I need six, but I'm gonna pay two. I'm not gonna pay the thing. And they don't pay the bouncers. And inevitably something happens. Somebody gets into a fight. You need to get somebody the heck up out of there. Something goes wrong. Or even worse than that, somebody gets injured, or somebody decides to somebody accidentally falls down or accidentally trips over something, and all of a sudden they're showing up at court with six neck braces on, and you owe tons of dough, or you get sued because you didn't want to pay for the bouncers. A lot of times when people have a job like that, people don't understand how important it is and don't get how important it is until you find out the hard way. Everybody knows that. One of the places I used to work, because I did, like I said, I did stand up comedy for a long period of time. I knew all the nightclub bouncers, I knew all the owners, I knew all the bar staff, I knew everybody. So when I went into places, if there was a problem with someone that was with me, they would give me the opportunity to solve the problem or get the person out of the place. One particular place, I talked about it on this podcast, well, not this podcast, but another podcast. I talked about it, and big bouncers, guy was kind of knew me. I kind of knew him. I knew him well enough to not let him get beat up. He goes into the nightclub, acts like a complete fool. The bouncer's about to chuck him down the steps. He yells at me, hey man, hey, do you know him? I was like, yeah, I kind of know him. Can you get him out of here? Because if you don't get him out of here, we gonna get him out of here. So I just walked him out and I said, look, man, don't go in there if I'm not in there. And even if I'm in there, I'm not gonna be able to save you every time. You gotta chill, man. He goes, of course, goes back without me, and I'm not gonna say what happened to him, but it rhymes with got his behind whooped. But that place never really had any problems because they have six big, gigantic bouncers who look like they should be in the WWE. Okay. And the guy and the other, like I said, the other place didn't want to pay them, didn't want to pay bouncers because he thought it cost too much, and they wound up costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars, which, let's be honest, he was not paying the bouncers hundreds of thousands of dollars. As it turns out, having the bouncers was a good idea because they're the line of defense. They keep people out. There are people that won't even go to the club or try anything at the club. They won't even have the club as an option because they know six big, giant WWE looking guys are inside and around the club, and they don't want any problems with those big dudes. That will stop people on many occasions. Oh, they don't want any of that. So there are people that won't even come to the club or think of going to the club because they know those guys are there. They're actually bouncing people at the idea process. Hey, let's go to a nightclub and cause some trouble. Let's go to this place. They got them big six WWE looking dudes. Yeah, let's not go there. Exactly. They bounce people that didn't even show up. So they're important. They solve problems before problems become problems in many cases. Even if somebody's in the building, man, let's scrap. Wait a minute. If we scrap, we gonna look like food scraps when those six big WWE looking dudes get finished whooping on us in the alley. I think we can solve our problems cordially. Okay, there you go. We're gonna go on opposite sides of the bar because if we don't, they're gonna beat us so good that we'll be at opposite sides of the bar simultaneously because half of our body will be over there and the other half of our body will be over there. We don't want that. We're gonna solve our problem. Bam! Bounces are important. And you know that to be the truth. Bouncers. Now I said bouncers and $20 bills are very, very similar. I'm going to explain with another story. Now, I don't know if you have friends or people that you know or acquaintances or relatives that are close enough to you to ask you to borrow money. Me personally, Mr. S. Anthony Thomas, I don't really call people that much, especially now with social media. Back in the day before there was social media, and yes, I'm old enough to remember when there was no social media. There was a time when it didn't exist, right? Back then, you had to call people to find out what was going on with them. You haven't heard from a friend in a while, you got to call to make sure that the phone number's the same. Are they living in the same place? Did something happen to them? You haven't seen them in a few months. Hey, whatever happened to Chuck? What happened to Bill? You want to find out. So you got to call them. You don't have to call them anymore because they may change their phone number, they may change their address, but their Facebook name is going to be the same. Their TikTok name is going to be the same. Their YouTube channels, everything's going to be the same. You never change those, right? So nowadays, friends like somebody like me who's in his 50s, old like me, I got friends that have had for 40 years. And I don't necessarily need to talk to them on the phone all the time. Do I have love for them? Sure. We cool? Sure. Do I enjoy their company? Sure. Do I want to have 3-hour phone conversations with them? Heck no. And there's relatives that obviously you love them, but you want to talk to them all the time? I mean, my relatives, I do. I don't want any problems. They know my address. Back to y'all. I don't want to talk to them all the time either. I don't talk to anybody all the time. You don't have to. Social media sucks in some ways, but in some ways it's great. You don't even have to go to your relatives or your friends' kids' recital to watch them badly play piano or have to sit there pretending like they can really sing. What do you think of Mabel singing? It was fantastic. Earphones that I have in? Yeah, I had ear surgery that made me put these earplugs in only when your daughter's singing. You're not buying that, huh? We're not friends anymore, are we? Dang. But you get what I'm saying. So you can check in on relatives and friends really easily. When I was younger, they had I don't know I know some of you are young. They had nowadays everything is unlimited phones, unlimited text. When I was younger, well, as an adult, there was a time when text you had to pay for text individually. Sometimes a text could cost you a quarter, and you had to decide was this person worth sending a text for a quarter just to tell them some crap I can tell them next week? Because they're gonna keep asking me questions, and every time they ask me questions, it's gonna cost me a quarter, and I don't want to spend $5 on this person because they're talkative, even in text. There were times when phone calls cost so much on your cell phone, they had programs called nights and weekends when it was free, which means basically after 6 p.m., the phone calls were free. On weekends, the phone calls were free. So you didn't check in on your friends until it was after 7 o'clock or on Saturday and at Sunday till 6. And if it wasn't in that, didn't come at that time period, the heck with you. But now because of social media, which is fantastic, you can just you can go to your friend's daughter's recital where she sings badly and hit those hearts and heart, right? You can watch it at your leisure. They don't even have to invite you to that crap. You don't have to buy any new clothes. You don't have to get any parking spots. You don't have to get a babysitter. You don't have to interrupt your life. You would do it because you love the little girl. She can't sing, but you love her to death, and you're gonna lie. Could I sing, Uncle? Cousin S, Uncle S, Friend S? That was you up there. I thought that was Celine Dion or Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, or any other person that sings really good. Because I definitely didn't think it was you up there because it sounded so good. I was like, man, Whitney Houston is short and she's 7. It's okay to lie to kids sometimes. Shut up. Back to the story. But just like I don't like to necessarily be on the phone with people all the time, I also sometimes gotta avoid some people because there are people that will always borrow money from you. Every time you see them, I had friends. I'm not even joking about this. I had a friend I used to budget an extra $20 to $40 to carry in my wallet. I would fold it up to keep it away from the rest of the money because I knew if I run across this sucker, it's going to cost me $20, $40, something like that, a couple times a month. I had to budget around this sucker. But the problem is, if you lend money a little bit too often, they start to think that that's a thing. And they start to always borrow money from you. They can't stop borrowing money from you. And the money's going to get more and more and more and more. And one time they're going to make that big ass. They're going to want $100. Ooh. Can you afford to lend $100? maybe one time if if you got a little money set aside, but you can't be loaning out $100 to people on a regular basis. Absolutely not. But they got a story. Oh man, the world's thing is happening. Something horrible is happening. I need the money to double. 5 asteroids and 6 ninjas are attacking my house, and they said if they will not burn my house down and karate kick me to death unless I give $100. Man, oh, the ninjas and the asteroids again. That's plausible. Here's the 100. Thanks a lot, sucker. I mean, the great guy. And then the guy disappears. Now you needed the $100. It's not You're not going to get thrown out your house. You're not going to lose your car. But that $100, you feel it, and you want it back. So now all of a sudden you turn into a collection agency. You got to run this sucker down. This guy's hiding so good. You think he not only borrowed $100 from you, but also informed on 7 mob hitmen because nobody can find him, and he's 6 blocks from your house, and somehow you can't find this sucker. Eventually, you run across him. Hey, man, he's across the street. I'm going to look on this side over here, and hopefully, he'll think it's someone else who looks exactly like me. Oh, he's coming. Oh, hey, man, what's going on? What's going on? I don't know, man. I'm just walking around here wondering, why when I look at my bank account, there's $100 that's not in the bank account that would be in the bank account if you give me my money back so I could put it into the bank account, chum. Well, I don't have the 100 on me right now, but I got I can give you 20. Then they give you the $20, and is somebody calling me even though I'm not really holding a phone? I gotta go. And then you gotta chase them down for the other 80. Eventually, you get the money back. You stop being angry. It took you 4 months, but you got it back. Okay. Comes back with another story. And he becomes harder to find the second time. And you feel like a sucker, but you get your money back. Takes 5 months this time, but you got it back. So now he knows don't ask for a lot of money because he's going to really come hard to get the rest of the money back. And it's annoying because every time you see him, you almost want to hide from him like you're in Mission Impossible. But then one day, he asked for $20. It's a test borrow. He's testing you, see if you're still mad. And you are still mad. But you also know that if you give him this $20, he's going to hide from you. He's not going to call you and complain because he's one of the people like that are always the ones that call and complain about everything. They actually drain the life out of you while you're on the phone with them. And another thing, everything's bad and everything's wrong and everything sucks. And my wife and my kids, everything's bad at work. Everything sucks. Things suck. Things bad. And you answer the phone. Hey, what's going on? And you go from this, hey, to, that's what he does to you. So you start thinking, he only borrowed $20. Now, this is all happening inside of your head within a couple seconds. If he asks me to borrow these $20, he's going to hide from me. But I'm not going to chase him this time because if he hides from me this time, he'll save me the trouble of having him bug me for money, larger sums of money, because he's going to hide from me. And the longer he hides from me, even though it's only $20, he's going to feel even more guilty hiding like a punk because of $20, which means he's going to hide harder. And he's not going to call and whine on the phone. Now I'm going to give him the $20. Hey man. And I'm gonna act like I'm struggling to give it to you. Bro, this $20, man. I mean, last time I lent you some money, man. It took me a while to find you, Jack. You'll definitely find me this time. I'm definitely not gonna completely hide from you because he completely hides from me. And you realize that yes, you lost that $20, but you got rid of him. No more phone calls. No more asking for larger sums of money. No more annoying emergencies because people like that always have an emergency and you're the only one that can help them. And then you realize that $20 that you lost is your nightclub bouncer. Remember the nightclub bouncer? The nightclub bouncer stopped the problem just by being there. You solved the problem of this guy just by that $20 being in his wallet. That $20 debt is like the nightclub bouncer. Keeps him away from you. It's like the nightclub bouncer. There are people that won't even go to the club because they know those 6 big WWE size guys are there and they don't want any problems. Well, this guy knows. If he calls you up to whine and complain, the first thing you're gonna say is, "Yeah, where's my $20?" If he has a fake emergency because he's too lazy to handle his own problems, know what's going to happen? He's not going to call you, because if he calls you, "Where's my $20?" If he sees you walking down the street, instead of running up to you and bothering you for more money, he's going to not do that. Why? Because he's going to be thinking he's going to ask about that $20. And you are, at that particular time, going to ask, "Where's my $20?" That $20 becomes your personal nightclub bouncer. You dig? You didn't think I was gonna be able to prove that they're the same thing in some ways, didn't you? You should know better than to doubt me. Oh, I tell stories all the. I'm glad you came back. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Uncle S out.